What you're about to hear is so unbelievably screwed up. And if you pay attention to the news at all, you will know why. I've never seen anything like this before. This is coming now from the Daily Beast. The Daily Beast is an absolute rag that has never told the truth about any of us, anything about me, anything about my company. The Daily Beast had a jihad on me for about 5 years, announcing how many times my career was over and the blaze was dead. And we want to thank them for helping people, rally around us.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
you guys
nailed it.
You did a great job.
Yeah, great job. Okay. Last week, this is according to the Daily Beast. Last week, a coalition of leading progressive groups gathered on Zoom to begin organizing for what they envision as the post-election day political apocalypse scenario. Now, I want to tell you the reason why this is going to be a nightmare is because the nightmare is being caused by the Democratic Party right now. There is a difference between mail-in votes and absentee voting. We've always had absentee voting. And if you need a ballot, you just call or write in, you verify who you are, they send you a ballot. That's not been good enough for the Democrats. This time, in the most critical election, we're going to try something new. Mail-in ballots. And they are encouraging you to go and mail in the ballot. Now, a mail-in ballot, depending on how many people actually do this, will cause the count for the presidency to not be official on the night that we all expect it to be. Once in my lifetime, it wasn't, and that was 2000. Once, I remember having to wait more than a day, okay? And look how that tore us apart in 2000. Imagine what it will do now. And they are talking about weeks, if not months, before we know the answer of who is the president of the United States. And remember, if there isn't a president of the United States by, January 27th or whatever it is?
20th, right?
January 20th, Nancy Pelosi becomes our president, according to the Constitution. At least temporarily.
They don't name her. I mean, she was around when the Constitution was written. They don't name her specifically.
Yeah, right.
They just say the Speaker of the House.
Okay. So they were all on these left progressive groups were on Zoom just last week, put together by the Fight Back Table, an initiative launched after the 2016 election to get a constellation of lefty organizations to work closely together. The meeting dealt with the operational demands expected if the November election ends without a clear outcome or with a Joe Biden win that Donald Trump refuses to recognize. I will tell you now, if you are a liberal, not a lefty, if you are a liberal, we are not enemies. And if the election were fair, no monkey business, it just goes the way it normally does. If Joe Biden would win, I would be very upset. I would really not like it. But if Donald Trump said, I'm holding this office, I don't care what the vote said, I would be against it. He would not do that. However, please don't accuse Donald Trump of doing that when you are the side that is right now plotting to tangle this thing up in something brand new that's never been done before, whose intention is to create stress and throw an election. That's why this is being done. In fact, I don't even think it's to throw the election. I think it's to cause civil war. I really do. That's what the left wants, a civil war, a destruction of our nation, and we are handing it to them. All of my liberal friends and neighbors and Democrats, please don't vote by mail. Please go to your poll. It has been fine forever. What are you thinking? It has happened. They just did this in Detroit. You saw what happened in, Iowa, where the Democrats couldn't even figure out for a week. They just did this in
That was with people at the polls.
Right. This is they're now trying this. They just tried this in Detroit. Detroit, the August elections, they still don't know who won. They said it's such a tangled mess that they may not ever know who really won. Why would you do that? But I tell you, I will stand with you if it's a square, even vote. If America votes, in my opinion, for suicide, then America deserves it. I'm not going to go along with the crowd, but I will tell you, I will stand by what they say, and I would not support Donald Trump just saying, I don't care what they say. That's a coup. But Donald Trump didn't start this. Remember, Hillary Clinton has been out now saying, don't accept defeat. No matter what it says, Joe Biden should never give in.
Every election in my adult life that the Democrats have lost, they've claimed it was stolen from them.
Yes.
Every single one of them. Gore, Kerry said that the voting machines were rigged and that people were telling people to vote on the wrong day and all that stuff in Ohio. And then, of course, obviously Clinton has been doing a nonstop parade about how it was stolen from her for the Russians or because people don't like women or whatever it is.
All right. So the Fight Back table came together with a bunch of lefties. Sources familiar with the discussions describe them as serious with a modestly panicked undertone. A smaller FBT session last fall, that's the Fight Back table, last fall talked about the post-election planning. But all those discussions were tabled because of COVID-19. This is the first time they were bringing the matter to the 50-plus organizations that make up the coalition. To formalize the effort, they gave it a name, Democracy Defense Nerve Center. Over the course of 2 hours, participants broached the question of what the progressive political ecosystem can functionally do in a series of election scenarios. They began charting out what it would take to stand up to a multi-state communications arm to fight all of the disinformation, a training program for nonviolent civil disobedience, and the underpinnings of what one official described as mass public unrest. They pored over a report from the Transition Integrity Project, a bipartisan group formed in 2019 that analyzed various election season scenarios and made clear the type of corruption and chaos that was potentially ahead. The report said the potential for violent conflict is high. Some of the hurdles were straightforward. How do you occupy crap? I'm quoting, but I'm not. How you occupy crap, hold space, and shut things down, not just on election day, but for weeks. Others were more complicated, like what quick transportation options can be in place should poll locations mysteriously close. I don't know what the strategy is when armed right-wing militia dudes show up at polling places. This Kyle Rittenhouse guy is being lionized on the right now. If it's being unleashed that you can shoot people and be a hero, I don't know what preparation we can possibly do for that. Those involved in the conversation say this wide array of groups has never coordinated so closely on matters before. The fact that they were sitting down 2 months in advance of the election was a testament to how seriously they take the complications and threats to Election Day. It's very obvious, they said, that Trump is laying the groundwork for claiming victory no matter what. Progressive groups at the end of the day believe our democracy, and while it's not perfect, oh my gosh, believe in building upon it and strengthening it. Do they? And we will fight to protect it from what we see as a president who's gone off the rails, taking this country down an authoritarian fascist path. We wish we were having conversations 6 months ago, said Rosa Brooks, a law professor at Georgetown University, co-founder of the Transition Integrity Project. Brooks has conducted war games to play out a range of election day and post-election day scenarios. Virtually all the outcomes, save one, a Biden landslide, have ended up facilitating a nightmarish fallout. What about a Trump landslide? I've been telling you only a landslide will do it. A landslide of Biden or a landslide of Trump. Otherwise, they have set this thing up that no one's going to believe the outcome. No one will believe the outcome because they've changed the way we're electing a president this time. And people don't understand the difference. What the difference is when you want to have a ballot in an absentee vote, you say, here I am, I'm going to be busy, I'm going to be at work or whatever, I need an absentee ballot. You verify who you are, you get the ballot, you send it in. Done. No problems with that. This is Democratic states just printing ballots and mass mailing them. Nobody asked for them. They're just mass mailing them. And then Democratic operatives, as we have seen in the last election, and not from some right-wing organization, but believe it or not, when there was a journalist that cared on the liberal side, that you had Democratic candidates going out and filling out these things and getting people just to sign them. People saying, I felt uncomfortable. I felt like I was pressured into voting for this person or that person. Now you're just going to mass mail these things out without a plan of being able to count them? And they're even talking about, no, the postmark may not even matter. So the postmark, it came 2 days late, 2 days after the election. So what? That's the post office's fault. Are you kidding me? They worry that they're behind the eight ball, but they've had universities. They have people at high tech. They have social psychologists, all wargaming. They've been wargaming this forever. And the media is trying to make it look as if the right is the one that is violent. We're not planning anything to happen on Election Day except go and vote. The chaos that is coming, I think, is remarkable. And if the DOJ doesn't get involved and find out who these groups are and what they have planned, you are going to have intimidation and chaos the week of the voting and for weeks until we go into civil war. This is not hyperbole. This is what the left is now saying. Next week, I'm going to do a special. Just 12 hours ago, I was like, I don't know. I mean, are people going to buy into this? I mean, we've really done our homework. I was going to show you how civil war starts in November, and we're in civil war by January. So I'm going to show you how they manipulated everything and have all the pieces they need now. I'm going to do that show Wednesday. Well, gee, things are moving fast. The Daily Beast is verifying everything that I'm going to show you next week. They're already verifying and saying, yep, they're planning it. Except they're planning to be, ready for violence to protect our republic, to protect the Constitution, to make sure that even though this nation might be flawed, they want to build upon it. How can you possibly say that when you are out every day saying the whole thing has to be torn down? Good God, Democrats, what is wrong with you?